cleaning up old chrome. 4-0 steel wool. I'm sure you've heard about it, but there's some old guy that told me a trick. Now, this was good, nice old chrome. It was just a little bit dirty. Really didn't have rust on it. So it cleaned up good, reproduction bumper looks good. But what about some stuff that's really got some scum of rust on it? Some pits? Can it actually be made to look acceptable? Obviously, we're not talking about show quality, we're talking about driver quality. But can it happen? Will this old guy's trick work? Come along with me and I'm gonna see if it works. And you'll see if it works too. And then I've got one other thing. If that works, I got something else to try that probably should never be tried by anybody. But come along, let's try this out. Let's see how before we go outside of this 55, let's see how this 57 bumper ends up looking. Now there's like a missing chrome there. There's no help for that. But this area where there's chrome, just a little effort. I think a little polish after this might do some help. A little effort, that looks pretty decent. Yeah, it's got a little shine to it. So, yeah, we'll do a little more here. I don't know if the camera will pick it up or not, but I've had this bumper laying around outside for, probably 25 years. So let's go outside to a 55. It's got a really bad bumper and see how it turns out. And let's go to a 56 that has a horrible bumper and see if there's any hope to make it look like something you might want to look at. So somebody says to me, oh, you got to try this. Clean rusty old bumper up. 4-0 steel wool. Yeah, it does kind of okay. 4-0 steel wool and vinegar. Put some rubber gloves on. Guess I could spend a little time with it and it'd look even better. I guess. And there it is. A decent looking bumper from 5 feet. Let's try an absolutely horrible one. Vinegar, stinky. Of course, some of you guys might like the smell of vinegar. Pot metal isn't going to rust, but let's just see if it has any shine to it. It tears up this steel wool pretty fast, though. Oh, this is tearing that steel wool. This is bad. This bumper is horrible. Maybe we let this vinegar soak a little longer. It tears it up good. This bumper's horrendous. It kind of goes with the rest of the car. The whole car is horrible. Well, I'm gonna have to say that's ridiculous. I did way better than I expected. This bumper's a lost cause. That's silly. And bumper cleans up kind of not so bad for what it is. I mean, total junk. Bumper is total junk. And it's looking pretty good. My steel wool is not looking pretty good. The steel wool is about beat. My hands are getting wore out from this. Now I will say that bumper's got one heck of a texture to it. Let's go get another piece of steel wool. I'm interested now. Alright, let it soak a little bit. Got some more steel wool. Let's see what happens. A little more vinegar. But it's a better looking turd now. Huh. Not so bad compared to the other side. Now, let's go to me being stupid. Let's put some muriatic acid on here. Because this is I gotta just be stupid. I don't want this on my hands, but what's this gonna do? Muriatic acid is not to play with. A little neutralizing there. I mean, it's obviously it's still going to be hairy. That's what I call it, hairy, but it's not a smooth finish. And you can see how it's just grabbing that steel wool. But if you got a driver quality car with a rotten, really rusty bumper, this could be a temporary way out for you. And you want to neutralize that acid real good too. It's still a junk bumper. But if you have to drive around on it, which would you rather drive around on? This side's most likely not going to come out like that because the chrome's peeled all off of it. But as bad as this bumper is, there's nothing you could do to hurt it. What does it do to pot metal trim? It bubbles the snot out of it, I'll tell you that. Oh wow, it's just eating it alive. Guess it's time to shoot the water at it. That 55 bumper shining pretty good from a distance. And this horrible bumper, big guns, muriatic acid. Now I expect this bumper is going to look like crap in about a day or two. So you'd probably want to go back and put something over this to protect it. See, old 55 bumper turned out pretty darn good. Looks pretty good. For as rusty as it was. But you could see it's not perfect. You get in there and inspect it, but you get that far away from it, that's a good looking bumper. Which is way better than what it looked like when the car got here. Now with the muriatic acid, you definitely want to neutralize it. Now we got a little oil to... Yeah, I did some on that grill too. You can see a haze of copper right there as it went down to the copper. That section right there, it's hopeless. That chrome's gone. You could just use some kind of silver spray paint, I guess. Make it acceptable. The whole part about throwing muriatic acid all over everything is you gotta get this stuff neutralized and then oiled up. Don't let this sit on too long, because it will thin that chrome, because you can see a hint of copper. Is that because of what I did? Or because the chrome was so old and getting thin? Probably a bit of both. I guess it's time for a close-up on it. See, it's fuzzy still. You can see all those pits that used to be just rust all over the place. See, there's a rust hole in the bumper. It's shot. You can see where it was starting to go through the copper. But you can see some reflection in there. Some spots where you can see the camera and me. That's how bad that is right there. It's just shot. But when you get yourself a little distance behind it, it's acceptable looking. So the old timers are right. 4-0 steel wool and a little bit of vinegar and a mildly rusty bumper, they'll come back to life. Will it come back to life up to 2 feet away? Kind of, sort of. 5 inches away? Heck no, there's no way. But I'm standing about 15 feet away from one, and it looks pretty good right now. And of course, when you look down here, and we're probably about 5 feet away, this thing doesn't look that bad at 5 feet. And this was my experiment. Go for broke. Don't do it if you care about your bumper that much. Or do whatever you want. I don't know. I guess you couldn't hurt it. Take it off the car. Don't get acid all over your car. That would be stupid. It would rust it out. But this one, too late. Already rusted out. All right, this 55 bumper come out pretty good. This is just going to be a driver car anyway. And I'll get around to it, and we'll do some coverage on it later on once I get that 61 GMC done. Of course, the 61 GMC is taking a lot of time, and it's not worthy of making videos currently because who wants to watch me sanding and epoxy priming and sanding and 2K priming and sanding and sanding and sanding and sanding? Nobody cares to see that. So when there's something of value to film on that, I will. Otherwise, little things like this when I get taking a break from sanding. You want to keep seeing me do stuff like this? You know, a lot of you have liked and subscribed. I really appreciate it. Keep doing it. It keeps me motivated, keeps me going on stuff. And for those of you who might be looking for an update on the 61 GMC project, here's how this is going. And epoxy primer, new bed sides, and a little test spray of the color, which is a dead ringer for the original green. And, well, the bed wood's probably a little nicer looking than what the factory was.